Joining us now on this broadcast is our correspondent Susan Teherani, who is live from the United Nations headquarters in New York. Susan, thanks for joining us. Now, we of course have been talking about all the developments at the UNGA. Afghanistan dominated the UNGA, and now we're getting reports that the Taliban have begun public executions. Tell us about what global leaders are saying about this.
Well, I can give you the latest of what's happening here at the United Nations. We'll wait for those reactions coming in. First and foremost, I think what was very important that just finished was the press conference by Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. He talked in length about the Taliban and the direction that perhaps his country wants to take. There was very rising concern really on whether or not you're going to grant some kind of legitimacy, notably on the part of Russia and China at the United Nations Security Council for the Taliban, where he said that as far as he knows, none of the members of the United Nations Security Council have any plans to lift sanctions on Taliban members or the Taliban, and that they will continue to work with the Taliban one way or the other under the framework that they already have.
Right. There seems to be some technical difficulty right there. We've got our correspondent Susan Teherani back on this broadcast. Susan, we lost you there. Just my second question, a follow-up to what we were just talking about. What Sergei Lavrov has said, that the recognition of the Taliban is not on the table yet, but he says that the UN listing doesn't prohibit interacting with the Taliban. Tell us more about this statement.
Yes, that is what he said. He said that, the Taliban will continue to remain a terrorist organization and that the United Nations Security Council cannot basically, the United Nations Security Council can continue to work with the Taliban under the framework of the Taliban being under sanctions, and that none of the members of the Taliban basically have to have their sanctions removed for the Security Council to work with them, which poses a lot of questions considering the fact that we just know recently that there were travel waivers that were picked up, that were lifted on 14 high-ranking Taliban leaders where they are able to travel to Doha, Qatar, to hold negotiations with the United States, that itself sort of really takes the goal pole a little further back on how these negotiations and how these talks with the Taliban are really moving forward. So, on the one hand, yes, officially UN by member states, these sanctions aren't being lifted on the Taliban, but on the other hand, the international community finds itself, at least the Security Council members, between a rock and a hard place on how to deal with the Taliban for Afghanistan's stability, and on the other hand, keep these extremists under sanction.
Right, Susan Teherani, thank you so much for all those inputs, and thank you for joining us from New York. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.